On February the 18th, Daniel and I flew to Hyderabad, India. When we arrived, we found wonderful people waiting to receive us in royalty. Immediately we fell in love with the people of India. They dress different than we do, and they live different than we do. In fact, they travel even much of their lives different than we do. Their houses are not the same. They worship primarily in the Hindu religion with 30 million gods. This is the headquarters for Hare Krishna, and this is the Hare Krishna temple. It is also part of the Hindu religion. Much that happens in India is surrounded by their religion. They worship the cows. The Sikhs are everywhere trying to be holy men. IP Baptist Church, up in the mountains of Imphal, used some of their property where a large tent was assembled, and thousands of Indians came from out of these hills to spend a special time in a conference where Daniel and Brother Darrell Bolton and myself were the speakers. Listen to some of the choirs that sang. The crowds were quite large and grew with every service. We met 3 times a day for 3 hours every day for singing and preaching and worshiping and soul winning. God greatly blessed. As the crowds gathered the last day, they had to take the back wall down and had to put our pictures up on the screen so those in the back could see as hundreds assembled outside. Daniel did a tremendous job preaching the gospel each time, and many received Christ at his preaching. Brother Darrell Bolton was greatly used of the Lord. It was a wonderful privilege and opportunity to preach to these Indian people, and our lives were greatly challenged. I used visual aids in order to get soul winning clearly across and to see lost people trust Christ. What a privilege to preach the gospel, and how they honored the 3 of us as their speakers. With this many people, toilet facilities and water is difficult, but out of the mountains it flowed freely. We made many friends, and all of them wanted to have their picture. They said, "Can we snap with you?" And so we gathered for much time after all of the services. Conference, we went to the Chulchul Asian Mission Society and Chilchill Baptist Church. There the college students assemble every morning at 5:30 and sing a cappella. We preach to these college students, and when they leave, then the other students come in. 3,000 students are there on the campus. More than 200 of the children trusted Christ in the invitations as we had chapel 3 times a day every day. Sunday, I preached at Montbuong Baptist Church to a large congregation where many decisions were made for Christ. For the next couple days, I taught in the Omega Christian School, which is a public school reaching Hindu children. The staff and teachers all love the Lord. What a joy to work with them, using balloons and airplanes that were made by Community Baptist Church students and members in Lodge, South Carolina.
All right.
Daniel and Brother Bolton had returned to the United States. I flew to Hyderabad to be with Pastor Suresh Guma and his dear family. While I was there, I became very sick and spent one night in a hospital, had to return the next 5 days in order to get additional IVs. A very precious Hindu nurse that helped me but did not speak English allowed me to lead her to Christ the last day. Wearing the IV needle in my hand, I baptized in the water trough for water buffalo. This one seems to be saying, "What are you doing in my drinking water?" Last Sunday in India, I was privileged to teach Sunday school to some precious, precious children, and then preached for Brother Suresh Guma, with him interpreting to a packed house. The people there all sit on the floor in the services, and the worship services are wonderful. God really blessed with great, great results. Afterwards, they had dinner on the ground. And I mean dinner on the ground. That's how they eat in India. A lady in orange suffers great persecution in order to come to church. She asked if she could get a picture with me and thanked me for ministering to her. She asked me to pray for her family, and the next day I led her aunt, this 67-year-old lady, to Christ. It was a great blessing to see many trust Christ as Savior and so many victories on this mission trip. But we brought home more than just good memories. Daniel brought home hepatitis and ended up in a hospital in Shelby, North Carolina. God was so good. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for your financial help and your love. And thank God for all that He did on this wonderful mission trip.